44 seconds for 2 logos, which, with these 2 studios, is par for the course. Still simple as hell. Castle, lamp lettering, boom, you're done in 10 seconds if you have no ego.
Can I shoot an arrow? Can I?
Discount Arya Stark.
A bow, Fergus. She's a lady.
Movie has conflicting emotions about gender equality in a span of 2 seconds. Damn, how bad was her aim? Movie expects me to believe that this arrow shot went that deep into the woods. Movie barely cracks the 3-minute mark before introducing magic. F***ing magic. The lord of all movie ex-machinas. Follow me now, child, and your mother will become a bear later. Will-o'-the-wisp Reese's Pieces.
You know, some say that will-o'-the-wisps lead you to your fate.
Others say they just waste your time, making you prance wildly around the forest, but everyone agrees that they exist, which is some bull. This giant-ass bear somehow snuck up on everyone.
Come on, you!
Movie thinks we're fooled that Fergus died by cutting away at the last second.
Some say our destiny is tied to the...
Narration.
The story of how my father lost his leg to the demon bear Mordu became legend.
And therefore we didn't bother to animate it or show it to you. It was too legendary.
I can never get away with anything.
That's because you're eating an apple and you look like an asshole. In what way did she think this was private? Also, she takes one bite and then throws it on the ground. At least leave it intact so it doesn't get all rotten. Why did she bring this apple in the first place? If you remove all the murder and rape, Merida is also kind of a discount Sansa star. Holy crap, now she's stealing apples and she's a princess, so nobody can say anything. So that's double asshole duty in 2 minutes. She sure can ride a horse out of the castle into the wilderness, but can she paint with all the colors of the wind? Huh? So basically badass maid Marion? Horse dog. What the hell? Is she doing a Tom Cruise impression? Or is this shit actually happening right now? I don't really know what prevented her from falling to her death, but thank God for an unusually strong grip that can stop falling momentum. Awesome. Now what? How do you even get down? 3 apple scenes in 4 minutes. This is an orgy of evidence that this movie was made for CinemaSins 6 months before we existed.
I won't go through with it. You can't make me.
What? An arranged marriage in a Disney movie? That's par for the course, actually. So, sin for repetition.
He divided the kingdom among his 4 sons.
One who is obviously evil because he's in the shadows and has demon eyes. Also, and this is totally racist, the bad brother is represented by the black chess piece.
He followed his own path, and the kingdom fell.
Seriously? The message here is that he followed his own path, and that's the reason why Merida can't shy away from tradition? What about the clearly more important part of this story where the guy was power-hungry and obviously an evil guy? But is Merida gonna bring up this point? Hell no.
I swear, Angus, this isn't going to happen. Not if I've any say in it.
But you and everyone else in this movie have gone out of their way to show me how much you do not have a say in it. They're the family you worry about, but turn out to not be that important to the story after all. They're the family that will eventually lose to the well-regarded Pentium clan.
I can't breathe.
And here's the I can't breathe cliche, as seen in all the movies where the plucky young heroine puts on restrictive clothing and doesn't want to marry whomever it is they're being offered. So we're supposed to think the awesome muscular guy is this dude's son, but his son is standing behind that guy. And my only question is, why is the strong, awesome guy standing so prominently in front of the crowd if he's not the dude's son? This king has a slippery grip on his subjects. Titty twisters. Well, this movie is doing nothing to improve the reputation of Scottish folk. Not that it claimed to be or anything, but still. Drinks and fights a lot. Check.
I choose archery.
The princess declared archery would be the contest of choice, so what's this f***ing log tossing going on for? 23 minutes in, and these kids have absolutely zero good qualities. They are terrible little bastards, aren't they? Also, these kids went through all this trouble to steal pastries, when there are about 100 different ways that didn't involve climbing a tent and swooping down to get them. Merida thinks this plan is going to work, as if Scottish laws deal in loopholes as ludicrous as this. Yep, Pixar is now stooping to, hey, look at my hairy asshole moments for humor.
And I'll be shooting for my own hand.
This is probably as blunt of a masturbation metaphor as it gets. Also, super sexist, ancient male-dominated society just lets her do this. This is probably as blunt of an emasculation metaphor as it gets.
Do you ever bother to ask what I want?
This whole script so far basically comes from the dusty blueprint of Rebel Without a Cause. Honestly, as valid as the conflict is in this movie, it just comes off worn out. Luckily for this blunt metaphor, the picture was drawn in such a way that the divide between mother and daughter is easy to slice a sword through. Overbearing parent literally destroys child's precious thingamajig cliche. Mom feels guilty about burning Merida's bow roughly 8 seconds after angrily throwing said bow into the fireplace. This movie is moving fast, at least emotionally. Try and keep up, okay? How is the recent betrothed and sobbing princess allowed to leave the castle without anyone trying to stop her or telling her dad or even making written note of her exit? Discount Stonehenge. These bright blue forest lights are basically Merida's video game prompts. Also, this is some air traffic controller type magic lighting. The magic behind this must be half GPS. Apparently, Merida has never heard the story of the big bad wolf. Also, discount power pellets. Without any evidence or proof, Merida keeps following these things deeper and deeper into the creepy forest.
Why would the wisps leave me here?
I don't know. Maybe because it's a mysterious house in the woods? And man, you are super trusting of possibly evil creatures in the forest, aren't you? Merida doesn't immediately run out of the creepy wood carving hut. Fantasia Broom is Fantasia. Toy Story Pizza Planet Truck Easter egg makes no goddamn sense in this ancient reality. You couldn't find a single Pixar character whose cameo would make more sense in this time period? Like Rex? Really? A goddamn pickup truck 2,000 years before trucks were invented? I am surprised how upset this makes me.
Are you sure you know what you're doing?
How could she possibly know what she's doing? She stumbled into a witch hut in the forest and instantly asked for a spell. She's the very definition of no idea what she's doing.
Have we here?
This witch's brew has somehow produced a perfectly cooked fruit pastry from a cauldron of bubbling acid. And I've seen enough Top Chef to know that this is some bullshit here.
You're sure if I give this to my mum, it will change my fate?
Why is it that when these characters in these types of stories get a wish or something, they ask for the vaguest possible wish open for interpretation? Changing your fate could literally mean all outcomes, positive and negative, that don't involve marrying the three dumbasses at the archery competition.
What was that thing about the spell?
Did you say something?
For no reason, the witch completely disappears before she can remember an important thing about the spell. Doesn't she have control over whether she disappears or not? Are the wisps responsible? Or was this house and witch created by a fairy godmother spell that expires after midnight?
You made this for me.
I don't know, this mom seems awfully trusting of her rebellious daughter after the she pulled today. Did Meredith's mom really just turn into a bear? Because that is not the movie I signed up for. I know she said,
I want a spell to change my mum.
but that was frighteningly vague and contained no mention of bears. Also, if you're wondering why this Pixar original didn't connect with you like you thought it might, look no further than the story, which sets up this badass independent woman as its heroine and gives her nothing to do except clean up a mess she started. Also, and they finally did it. Disney remade Brother Bear and made it into Mother Bear.
The witch is to blame.
But actually, no. Even though she's seen the shadow and saw her claws and all things pointing to being a bear, the mirror is what sends her into a surprised frenzy of destruction. It's funny her mom is still trying to be prim and proper even as a bear, but I'm shocked she's not concerned about her safety right now. What's worse, that this guy can smell a wife bear at over 500 kilometers? Or that said wife bear doesn't realize this and get the f*** out of Dodge as soon as she realizes she's a goddamn bear?
You can have my desserts for 2-3 weeks.
How are these kids not insanely fat at this point? Don't give me that kid metabolism nonsense either. These kids steal hundreds of pastries a day. The idea that a bear growl can be made this way, and a chicken on a stick even comes close to looking like the shadow of a bear. Talk to the bear hand.
I can't believe it. I found it.
I can't either, since this stupid place disappeared completely in the last scene, and now it's reappeared for no reason other than to give you hope. Rube Goldberg ex machina.
There's one bit I forgot to tell you about the spell.
Yeah, there really was no way I could just hang around for 5 more seconds, or leave you a note that didn't require a Rube Goldberg contraption.
One more time. Fate be changed.
Seriously, this couldn't be written down? Magically etched in stone?
Welcome to the crafty carver. What?
Remember when the witch did this earlier? She went through 3 choices, one ending with, if you're that red-haired girl, use vial 3. But instead of waiting for that, Merida panics and throws all the potions into the cauldron because she's a dick. Also, despite the fact that Merida just screwed herself anyway, couldn't the witch have left a few more vials of number 3, just in case she needed to hear that message again? How is that crown still on her damn bear head? Hell, that should have fallen off and gotten lost as soon as she went into bear mode. Look, either there's enough room to hide from the rain or there isn't. Don't show me a structure that seems to have all the room, and then show me 2 protagonists camped out on the edge, to where they're both getting rained on a ton. I mean, move back 10 inches, Jesus.
I'll always be right here.
Even if I'm a bear. This fire is the exact same fire in the fireplace from earlier.
A princess should not have weapons, in your opinion.
Merida tries to teach her mom a lesson about how it's good for a princess to have weapons, in a situation where they both are in this mess because of her in the first place. Yep, her mom is still a bear. Just popping in to clarify that continued apparent fact. Do bears even like their fish cooked? I can't imagine why or how or why they would, considering they can't start fires. I know this particular bear used to be human, but is there no bear inside there at all? 3 sins in one here. She thinks bears fish just by opening their mouth. This fish jumps directly into her not moving open mouth, and she spits it out like it's gross. Lady, you are a bear now. Get with the program. Yes, what every icy mother-daughter relationship really needs is for one of them to be turned into a bear and face the hardships of salmon fishing. Mom's full transition to wild bear happened really fast because I just saw a montage of her romping with her human daughter for like 5 minutes. And now this? I thought she had until the second sunrise.
They'll show us the way.
Will they really, though? They showed you the way to the witch's house earlier, and that just turned into a disaster. Why do you even trust these assholes? Isn't it nice that these ruins have a perfectly placed pile of rocks, so that if you fall through the floor, it won't kill you, or even hurt you? Rock depicting the story Eleanor told Merida just happens to have a split between the good brothers and the bad brother.
Split, like the tapestry.
I know! The parallels between that story and your story are crazy similar. This bear waited until Merida learned everything before coming into attack. Unlikely. Also, can we just go ahead and say the wisps are the antagonists of this movie? They are not kind, they are not helpful, and they are total assholes. These clans have been shooting at each other for what appears to be, well, long enough to shoot 100 arrows into each of all these tables, and no one is dead. I will say that this dude catching an arrow is hilarious. He's the best character in the movie because he's clearly above it all. We'd remove a sin, but the sin is that he's not in it enough. Sure, many of these clans are facing away from the big giant bear walking behind them, but Fergus and everyone else are facing toward the bear and somehow miss her completely. And Jesus, does no one see this fuckery going on? That is a lot of fuckery. Also, somehow all this works. Merida says we should love whom we want, and everyone beholden to these Scottish traditions just says, okay, well, at least we got to play some pointless games after sailing all this way.
Just no fair marking us.
This guy is harder to understand than Ennis Del Mar. Eleanor's bear-like tendencies show up when the plot needs it to. Funny how it didn't happen once while Merida was making her plea to the clans. Eleanor. Domestic violence. The best way to keep your daughter safe is to lock her up, cliché. Triplet bears ex machina.
Get the key.
These assholes have been bears almost as long as Eleanor has, but never did anything bear-like or turned into real bears or anything remotely close to anything that matters to this story. One of the many talents Merida possesses is sewing while riding on a horse in the rain. We didn't see her honing these skills earlier, but we must assume that she did. Also, by the way, this whole thing is solved by sewing the tapestry back together. It did not require sneaking Eleanor back into the castle at all. This movie's resolution could have happened 10 minutes ago. This is the first time the Wisps have ever done anything useful. King is a dick to his daughter. I mean, this bear he doesn't realize is his wife is completely restrained right now. Why does he need to violently shove his daughter out of the picture? Mor'du prefers the knock people as far away as possible method of fighting, as opposed to using his claws to destroy them. Mor'du finds a way to taunt Merida, instead of revenanting her ass. When this movie started, if you'd have told me it was going to end with a human bear and a bear brawling in a rip-off Stonehenge arena, I'd have flipped you off and not even watched this shit. So, sin for you for not telling me that shit before I watched this movie. None of these onlookers try to assist in the takedown of Mor'du, because they're all little bitches. The deadline of the second sunrise is apparently set up to be when the light reaches the bottom of these stones, which is some horse shit. You know what I would have enjoyed more? A movie about a strong-willed Scottish princess refusing to get married by parental arrangement that contained no magic mother bears. We saw absolutely nothing that changed from the moment Merida put the tapestry on her mom to the time of the second sunrise, other than her crying. Which means that this is a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious asshole of a curse to tease this family like this.
You changed.
Oh, darling. We both have.
Well, no, actually. Merida got everything she wanted without changing a bit.
I'm naked.
Well, no. Actually, you have a tapestry wrapped around you. I mean, I kind of get it and all, but stop saying things that aren't true. Yeah, that seems like the perfect match. Maudie, the most annoying character in the movie, gets the awesome warrior dude in the end. Makes sense.
There are those who say fate is something beyond our command.
And those people are correct.
Our fate lives within us. You only have to be brave enough to see it.
You can't sneak a roll credits past me, assholes. Also, I guess she was indeed brave, but that doesn't mean you didn't steal this title from Braveheart, which was also about Scottish people fighting for freedom, and whose hero's mom memorably turned into a bear, if you remember. So chew on that, you thieving jerks. This wisp is still an asshole.
If it's not Scottish, it's crap!
I bring you peace. I bring you love.
Some say our destiny is tied to the land.
Jon Snow.
How do you solve a problem like Maria? How do you catch a cloud and pin it down?
The bunny's scared, Mike. The bunny's scared of you.
And you got
Shit,
fucking
man.
claws
You got these
and
fucking
fangs,
claws and these
man.
fangs, man. And you're looking at your claws and you're looking at your fangs. And you're thinking to yourself, I don't know what to do, man. I don't know how to kill the bunny.
They can afford timeout, for this is the fishing season. All they have to do is wait.
I saw him, Gandalf, from out of the darkness. The necromancer has come.